Good morning. Oh, good morning, Luna. Happy Father's Day, Christian. We get to do a special Father's Day class. This was supposed to be our first yoga in the park for 2023, but we got rained out. So we're in the So Fine studio. I'm Micki. Christian. Luna is going to help out on drums. And Christian has his Rav vest, and we're gonna start our summer off with the very first yama today. So just come into any comfortable position. I usually, when my teacher says come flat on your back or make a little roll to lay on your back, that gets me very excited. So either come lie flat on your back, or you can sit upright any way you'd like to begin. And in this practice, I like to use props to help me with accessibility. So I have some blocks, I have a chair, a blanket, a strap, some pillows, bolsters. And as you begin to arrive here today, go ahead and maybe invite your eyelids to soften over your eyes, or you might just have a soft gaze, starting to turn your focus and your attention inward. Since we're starting this series again with the yamas and the niyamas this summer, we're going to take in exploration of journey through, I should say, the yamas and niyamas, which are yoga's ethical practices. And they're non-violence, as my kitty tries to scratch me. I'm sorry. The first one is non-violence, ahimsa. So the yamas and the niyamas, there are 5 of each, so that's 10 total. And they kind of do actually remind me a little of the 10 Commandments. The first one is called Ahimsa, and it means non-violence. I just have a short reading from my favorite book that I'm nearly memorizing now, The Yamas and the Niyamas by Deborah Adele. She says, non-violence is so valued that it stands at the very core and foundation of all yoga philosophy and practice. Our ability to be nonviolent to others is directly related to our ability to be nonviolent within ourselves. Our inner strength and character determine our ability to be a person of peace at home and in the world. We can grow this capacity to be nonviolent by learning how to move through the everyday challenges of life and by addressing the things that precipitate our tendencies towards violence. Ahimsa, or nonviolence, calls forth from us our most brilliant and best self. This depends on our proactive practice of courage, balance, love of self, and compassion for others. Take a moment to imagine what nonviolence might look like inside of you. Maybe you could picture it as a beautiful, glowing, precious gem. With your inhale, breath, you might allow it to brighten, shining out from the heart center. With your exhale breath, you can allow it to soften and fade. Take some time to breathe into this space. And then from wherever you're at physically, let's go ahead and move to our back. You can have a strap close by and also maybe a block. As you move onto your back, go ahead and walk your feet as wide as the mat, and then allow both knees to fall over to the left. You might sense your right knee coming down towards your left heel. Maybe you peek over to the right. You could even reach your right fingertips up past your ear at a diagonal. Maybe you gaze up at your hand, finding a nice stretch from your fingertips along your side body down towards your knee. Take one more nice deep breath here, and then we'll sweep that right arm back out to the side. Lift the knees through center and allow them both to fall over, this time to the right. You might sense your left knee falling down towards your right heel. Maybe you even want to find that side stretch by reaching the left fingertips long and overhead past the ear. You might even gaze up at your hand. Just finding a little bit of stretch for the neck. Sending your breath gliding down the left side of your body, from your fingertips to your knee. On your next inhale breath, you can open your arms out wide to the side, and then just take a moment to float the knees from side to side. You can either do this with your feet on the mat, or you might try hugging your knees in and maybe rocking a little side to side here instead. And you could always do this with the support of your strap by wrapping the strap around your knees or your shins. And if you're hugging your knees in towards your chest now, you might start to draw a circle with the knees. I forgot to mention something so important to me in any class that I teach is your own ability to choose. And I think that's a practice also of Ahimsa, nonviolence. Doing what feels right for you and your body. So you can always allow yourself to modify. If you're drawing a circle with the knees, go ahead and reverse the direction. Maybe this feels like a nice gentle massage for your low back. Take one more nice deep breath here. And then with your next inhale, you can come back to center, release the knees, set the feet back down onto the mat. And then if you have a block or something you could use that's in this shape, you could go ahead and tuck your chin towards your chest and set the block right underneath your head. I love to use the edge of the block to massage gently the base of the skull. So you could use the block just to set your head on that block, finding that nice place, maybe right there at the base of your skull. If you don't have some item that you can use for this, maybe you have a tennis ball or some other kind of ball that you could use to massage the back. Just take a few more rounds, almost like shaking your head no, side to side. And then we'll take one more nice deep breath here. Go ahead and lift your head when you're ready. Set the block off to the side. Allow your head to find the back of the mat, or your back of your head to find the mat. And just take a moment to pause. From here, we'll make our way up into our seat. So you can either hug your knees into your chest, rock and roll up and down the length of your spine, or you might roll onto one side and press yourself up into a seat. It can be nice if you want to find a comfortable seat cross-legged to use a blanket. Oh, look, I have two. Blanket or two to prop up the hips. But feel free to find a chair if that's more comfortable, or a couch. Sitting on the bed could work too. And just take a moment to arrive in your seat, feeling your sit bones rooting down. Sense the glow from that intention of Ahimsa, non-violence, glowing from the heart. And then when you're ready, we'll invite the hands to meet at the heart center. You can circle sweep the arms up and overhead. Float the arms up, lift the heart, and then on your exhale, land your right hand either on the mat, or you could use a block to prop your hand up a little higher. We'll reach the opposite hand up towards the sky, and you could gaze up at your lifted hand. And then on your exhale, go ahead and press into the earth as you reach the left fingertips out in front of you at a diagonal. Then we'll circle sweep the arm up and overhead. Go ahead and paint some nice big circles with your fingertips. Maybe you even follow the fingertips with your gaze, finding a little bit of rotation with the neck. The next time your hand is lifted up towards the sky, we'll inhale both arms up, lift the heart, lift the gaze, and then exhale, sweep the opposite hand down to the ground or a block. Press into the earth as you reach your opposite hand up towards the sky, and you might gaze up. On your next exhale, you can start to reach the right fingertips out at a diagonal, and then trace that nice big circle with your hand. You might follow the fingertips with your gaze, finding a little bit of stretch for the neck. Take one more nice deep breath like this. And the next time your hand is reaching up towards the sky, go ahead and inhale both arms up, and then we'll exhale, draw the hands to the heart. Go ahead and lean back, pressing your palms down. You can extend your legs, give them a little shake, and then maybe you try crossing your ankles the awkward way, just to try and change it up. If it's too awkward, you can always go back to your usual. And then we'll reach the arms up towards the sky. On your next exhale, go ahead and part your hands. You can bring your right hand down to your left knee, and then maybe you reach your left hand around behind you. I'm grabbing a block so I can help bring the earth up to me. If this this feels too far away, this left knee, you can always press against your right knee. And if bending the legs is too uncomfortable, feel free to lengthen the legs out, either at a V or directly in front of you. On your inhale, lengthening your spine, and on your exhale, you might peek your gaze past your left shoulder. Take one more nice deep breath, and then on your next exhale, you can peek your gaze around towards your right shoulder. Go ahead and inhale to release. Take a nice deep breath here, and then we'll get ready for the other side. So you can inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. On your exhale, I'm going to bring one block around behind me, and this opposite hand down to the knee, or to the opposite, or to the same knee. Just finding wherever would feel comfortable to land. You might peek your gaze over your right shoulder. Finding any version of a twist. With your inhale breaths lengthening through the spine, and the exhale breath twisting you a tiny bit further. On your next exhale, you can turn your gaze to center and then peek the gaze over the left shoulder. Take a nice deep breath here. And then on your next inhale, you can unwind your twist and then make a decision if you'd like to stay seated for cat and cow, or maybe you would prefer to come to hands and knees. So if you're coming to hands and knees, you might use your blanket to pad underneath the knees. If you're staying seated, that's okay. Just hold on to the front of your shins or your knees. And if I pad underneath my knees, I usually just unfold my blanket. And you might come to bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. And then we'll inhale to lower the belly, lifting the heart through the biceps. And then exhale, round the spine. Draw the belly button towards the spine. You can go ahead and find your own pace to move through your cat and cow. Finding some flexion and extension of your spine. After a few rounds of cat and cow, it might feel good to draw a big circle with the belly button. Find any places that feel particularly interesting. You might pause there for a breath. Breathing into the sensations. And as you move your spine, you might take a moment to marvel at its amazing design. If you're moving in one direction, feel free to reverse the direction when you're ready. You might take a few rounds of wagging your tail side to side, peeking over your shoulder towards your hip, finding that C curve stretching along the side body. child's pose. So for child's pose, I like to bring the big toes to touch, open the knees out to the sides, sink my hips back, and walk the hands out in front. Maybe you can lower your forehead all the way down to the mat. If that feels really far away, you could stack your palms, make a little pillow to rest your forehead, or you might use a prop. This is a fun way to use the big round bolster, is to bring a big round bolster in between your knees, and then this could provide a nice platform to rest your torso. When I do it this way, I like to bring one cheek to rest on the mat or on the bolster. Allow yourself this moment in Balasana, child's pose, to soften your effort. Allow the earth to rise and support you, and feel that support as you ask yourself, where can you let go? I think that's a nice metaphor to think about how we can recruit help. Physical help from the earth. Take one more nice deep breath. If you're resting one cheek down, you can lift your head and turn so the opposite cheek gets a chance to rest as well. When you're ready, we'll come up into hands and knees, and you're always welcome to stay longer in different shapes. I'm going to cue you through the option of thread the needle or a side bend in your child's pose. And then, so from hands and knees, I would still keep the knees wide like child's pose. And you can start to walk the hands over to the right and reach your left arm long. And then maybe you bring your right forearm down, and you can make a little pillow here to rest your forehead. And you can really just allow the weight of your head to start to gently massage your forearm. Maybe rocking your head a little bit side to side. If you think you might prefer thread the needle instead, I'll walk you through that variation. Not everybody loves this one, but I'm going to use a block. You could also use a pillow if you want to bring the earth up to you. So if you're going to do thread the needle instead, I would plant my left hand underneath the shoulder and then thread the right arm under, so that my my temple can either come to the mat or to a block. So you're either getting a little bit of a side bend, or you might be getting a stretch through the top of the shoulder. Take one more nice deep breath on this side. And then when you're ready, you can press back up. Find whatever variation you prefer on the other side. So you might walk your hands over to the other side, maybe bend that forearm, resting the head on the forearm, walking the opposite arm at a diagonal. And that would be your side bend. Or you could do the thread the needle variation, or maybe a little of each. So I'm planting my right hand now, setting my block up for my temple, and then I'll weave the left arm underneath the body, bringing the temple down to the mat or to a block. breath deep into those areas of sensation, maybe in the shoulder or along the side body. When you're ready, we'll come back to hands and knees, and then I'm going to move the blanket out from underneath me, and we're going to make our way onto our bellies. It could be fun to play around with a little forearm plank on the way down if you'd like, or feel free to land all the way on your belly. If you want to do a forearm plank, you might come onto your forearms, planting your elbows underneath your shoulders, and then you can walk your knees back, and you could do a forearm plank on your knees, hovering your belly for a moment. And then if you want to see about a little more challenge, you might tuck your toes under, lift one knee at a time. I can feel a little tremble here in my core, or both knees. And then whenever you're ready, side out, laying down on the belly. You can kind of stretch your legs back, untuck your toes, press the tops of the feet into the mat, and then with your elbows underneath your shoulders, you can press your palms into the mat, and we'll have a little back bend here for Sphinx pose. You might take a moment to roll your shoulders up towards your ears, and then allow them to glide down your back. Take some slow, nice deep breaths, and if you want to activate this pose a little more, you could sort of grip the mat with your palms, tractioning your arms back as you lift the heart forward. On your next exhale, we'll bring the elbows out wide, stack the palms, and you can lower your forehead down to the back of your hands. This one is called Makrasana, or crocodile pose. Feel your body rooting down, and then just allow yourself to soften here. Once more, feeling the support of the earth, relaxing your effort. When you're ready, you can lift your forehead, slide your hands back, turn your gaze to the left, and then soften your right temple down to the mat. Now, it's hard for my temple to reach, so I like to tuck my toes under and just glide the body forward, and then I can find that that gives me a little more space to just allow my temple to rest right there on the mat. Take a moment to soften here, feeling the gentle pressure of the floor against your head, or your head against the floor. And then on the next inhale, we'll gather the resources at the core. Start to lift the head, lift the legs, lift the arms, allowing your whole body to float, balancing on the belly. Take some nice deep breaths, coming into locust pose, Shalabhasana. You can keep a soft gaze here. Imagine yourself floating, flying over the earth. Maybe you even want to rock a little bit side to side. Come back to stillness, and then we'll turn the gaze to the right this time. Soften all of your effort. Allow your left temple to rest on the mat. If you find that it's too far away, you might tuck the toes under, glide the body forward a little bit, and then allow your temple to rest. Feel the support of the earth once more rising to meet you. As you soften all of your effort, allow yourself to be held, cradled, supported. Then we'll bring the palms underneath the shoulders. You can tuck the toes under and press yourself up into a tabletop. And then maybe you want to explore downward facing dog. I think for today, I'll show downward dog with a chair since I just have the chair right here. And this is a fun variation. So I'm going to bring my hands onto the seat of the chair, step my right, actually it's my left foot, step my left foot forward, tuck my right toes under, lift my right knee, and then I'm starting out in a lunge and I can walk both feet back, extending my arms onto the chair. This is chair dog. Downward facing dog with your hands up on a chair. Finding that length through the spine, through the back body. You could still pedal your heels one at a time. You could float up to sort of a halfway lift and then sink the hips back to down dog. Just find whatever's going to serve you. And then when you're ready, we'll walk the feet to our hands and you'll come into a forward fold. So you can allow your arms to hang heavy. Maybe you allow your hands to grab opposite elbows and just allow yourself a moment to really dangle. Let the head sway. You might shake the head no, nod the head yes. And then you can release your hands. We'll press the hands onto the shins or onto the thighs. Inhale to lift up halfway with a flat back. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, press into your legs, or you could also press into the chair or blocks, lifting up halfway. Exhale to forward fold. One more time. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. On your next inhale, we'll root the legs. Go ahead and spring load the knees so you feel some strength through your legs, and then we'll press up, lifting the torso, floating the arms. Exhale, draw the hands into the heart. And then you can pause here in mountain pose, Tadasana. Feel that glow of your intention at your heart center. And then we'll take a wide stance on our mats. So I'm going to bring the feet out wide. And then you might find your blocks. Where did I put them? Here's one at least. Okay, that's really all I need. Let's put one out front. From here, we're going to come into a 5-pointed star. So reach your arms out wide, your feet out wide. Your feet can be parallel, or you could even pigeon toe your toes in a little bit. Maybe that feels more supportive. And then expand through the heart. Feel the glow from your heart as you radiate like a star, 5-pointed star in all directions. With your next exhale, you can sweep your hands down to your hips. into your fingertips down. Allow them to trace the back of your legs. And then you can bring your hands onto one block, 2 blocks, whatever you have, or onto the earth. We'll inhale, press into your support, lift up halfway to lengthen through your spine, and then exhale, soften and forward fold. Inhale, press up halfway, and exhale to forward fold. One more time, inhale to press up halfway, and this time we're going to pivot our toes. So you're going to kind of bring your heel in on both sides. You'll start to bend into your knees, and then you can bring your hands up onto your knees, coming into a goddess squat. From here, you can open your arms out to the side, sweep them up, and then maybe cactus your arms. So you're coming into goddess pose. Take a nice deep breath, and with your exhale, you might stick out the tongue for lion's breath. Maybe one more time. Inhale and then exhale. Letting it all go. And even roar out through the mouth. Then on the next inhale, we'll lengthen through the legs. You can bring your hands to your hips and heel toe your feet back underneath you. Let's take a moment to shake that all off. Allow your arms to swing and graze your sides. When you're ready, you can come back to stillness, letting your arms slow down. And then when you're ready, we'll come back to the top of our mat. Inhale to sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, gently swan dive forward. Inhale here for halfway lift. And exhale to forward fold. If you're wanting to come down to the mat or down to the earth, you could step your left foot forward, bring your right foot back, and then gently lower onto that back knee, bringing both knees to the earth. And then I'm going to walk them forward to come onto my seat. From here, you could swing your feet around, bring your feet towards the front of your mat. Maybe you reach your arms out and start to lean back, feeling a little bit of fire, engagement in your core. Coming into Navasana boat pose. You could bring your hands behind your thighs to hold on, and you could bring one or both feet up, maybe onto a prop, or float them over the earth. Play around with whichever version of boat you would like, finding that bit of strength in your core, that resolve. And then on your next exhale, you can plant your feet, swing your hands back, and you might lift your heart just here. Or you could begin to press into the earth, walk your heels in, and maybe start to lift your hips to come into an altar pose. On your next exhale, lower your hips down, and then we'll hug our knees into our chest, coming on to the back body now. From here, you might find a gentle twist, allowing both of your knees to soften to the right, opening your arms out into a letter T. Allowing yourself a chance to check in with your breath. Soften all of your effort. Allow your breath to cascade down that gentle curve in your spine. Maybe peeking over in the opposite direction as your knees. Take one more nice deep breath on this side, and then we'll come back through center. You could give yourself a gentle hug, unwinding your twist, maybe lifting your nose up towards your knees. And then on your exhale, you can soften onto the other side. So you might open your arms into a T. And I just glided my hips a little to the right, allowing my knees to stack over to the left. You could peek your gaze over in the opposite direction as your knees. Sending your breath cascading down that gentle curve in your spine. Whenever you're ready, you can unwind your twist, wrap your knees back up into your chest, maybe give yourself a little hug, and then soften your head back down. And we'll set up for our final resting pose, Shavasana. So if there are any other shapes that you would love to explore, give yourself that gift. You don't have to rush it. Another fun thing to do with the big round bolster or a pillow, maybe you can get creative with some pillows you have around, is to bring that bolster underneath the knees so you can have a little bit of support. You might even bring a blanket over the body. Just allow yourself to get really comfy. Allow yourself to prepare to settle in. So for the next little bit, we'll have some quiet relaxation with our beautiful accompaniment. See about allowing your forehead to soften. Relaxing your eyelids, your jaw. myself with my incompetencies. With this attitude, feelings of powerlessness become opportunities to become competent rather than violent. Our ability to stay balanced and courageous has much to do with how we feel about ourselves. If we are lighthearted and forgiving with ourselves, others will feel the ease and joy of being with us. If we find laughter and delight in ourselves, others will be healed in our presence. We will express the love we have for others by treating them the same way we treat ourselves. Love lies at the core of nonviolence and begins with love of self, a love that is forgiving and lenient, a love that sees the humor in the imperfections and accepts the fullness of the human experience. When we find this love for all the parts of ourselves, we begin to express fully the love that wells up inside of us for others. Finding this love for all the parts of ourselves means we have to forgive ourselves. In the words of Eddie Hillesum, a young Holocaust victim, ultimately we have just one moral duty: to reclaim large areas of peace in ourselves, more and more peace, and to reflect it towards others. And the more peace there is within us, the more peace there will also be in this troubled world. You're welcome to stay longer in your final resting pose, giving yourself time to rest, time to digest, time to linger and ponder. If you're ready to reawaken the body, just allow yourself time to gently bring movement into your fingers, into your toes. Maybe make little cat biscuits. You can always come into a fetal position. Press yourself up into a seat whenever you feel ready. Be like the kitty and rest longer. So much good rest. When you arrive at your seat, you can invite your hands to meet at your heart center in Anjali Mudra, a gesture of gratitude. Allowing your head to gently bow towards your heart. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, which means peace, peace, peace. And thanks to our musician, and thanks to our cat. Yes, Luna. Thanks everyone for coming.